Hello, welcome to Art Online. My guest today is all the way from Cheltenham, Andy Davies, who is the director of the Cheltenham Paint Festival. Hi, Andy. How are you doing, mate?
Hi. How you doing?
I'm really loving that piece of artwork behind you. What are we seeing there?
So I'll move briefly. So this is the piece I did for the virtual festival. It's my son, and you can see just over his shoulder, peeking out in the depths, is my daughter as well. And yeah, so the piece I did for the festival, I've been wanting to paint for some years, but it's a massive wall. It's actually massive, and it's owned by the Julian Dunkerton of Superdry. So he's turned me down twice. So I thought, well, the best I can get is virtual. So so I painted this. Up here we got some of the COVID virus, so they're kind of trapped indoors while the virus is outdoors, which is the idea of this one. But then I used the main bit for my virtual festival piece.
I love it. I mean, it's great to see that, in the live. I suppose that's on your shed, is it, or the side of your house that you've painted?
Yeah, it's on the side of the garage. Yeah. I've got a wall, so yeah, it's all painted with masonry paints. Technical issues.
Yeah, and then some.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all right. These things happen on the Zoom online courses, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Really, you mentioned the virtual festival, and I know. I know you as your work as an artist, a streets artist particularly, but also as putting on this fantastic festival, which has become a bit of a thing must see in the calendar, the Cheltenham Paint Festival. Some brilliant pieces of art there, but obviously it's not happening this year. So you.
No, don't.
Oh, is it not? So, no, I didn't know. Tell me more.
Yeah. No. Well, funding's been pulled everywhere. So, Arts Council, I had another source. They were putting 10 million into this area. I was like, lovely. I'd gone through the first stages of all that, and it was all going well. It was looking really good. I was thinking, great this year, loads of big walls. But obviously, the COVID hit. And funding's just been pulled everywhere. Ironically, the Arts Council funding's gone to support artists through the outbreak, and most of the other funding has been pulled to help in various ways as well. So we're not going to have any money. We've got a little bit, but nothing. Virtually nothing. So we won't be able to afford to do the big walls this year. So I put on my artist group. If people still fancy coming along and painting, we'll do the car parks and the tunnels and places like that. But we won't be able to pay for paint. But thankfully, I've built up a bit of a bank of goodwill with giving the artists accommodation and looking after them, a fabulous after party and things. So quite a lot of them have said, yeah, they're going to come along and just have a paint anyway.
So when would that be? When
observing all social distancing rules, obviously.
Of course. So are we talking September, October time? Is that when?
Yeah, September, first weekend of September as usual. Yeah.
Oh well, that's great actually. I didn't know that. I mean, it sounds like a brilliant thing to do, and I'm sure that people will be itching to get out and paint. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think it's nice for the public too.
Yeah,
I think everyone's been cooped up. Everything's been cancelled. There's no fun at all some. I was hoping that we'd get funding, we'd be able to have a proper festival, but just to cheer people up, just to give people something to look forward to, because music festivals have all been cancelled, and birthdays, parties, holidays, everything else has been cancelled. So it'd be nice to give people something to look forward to.
But the thing you've been doing now at the moment is this virtual festival, and this I think has caught the imagination a bit. I mean, I've seen this on the BBC, I've seen this everywhere, and I'm suddenly I got really confused when I first saw it, because I was looking on Instagram and I started seeing all these great walls being done in Cheltenham. I was thinking to myself, what's going on? Why don't I know about this work going on in Cheltenham? And of course, it's a virtual festival. So you've taken the pictures of the walls, you put it online, and then artists have basically superimposed their own work on the walls to create this like virtual gallery.
I think quite a few people have been a bit confused by it and thought we'd already had the festival and that they'd missed it and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, I was talking to Fink22, who came over from Dubai last year to paint at the festival, and we were chatting away, and he put forward this idea of having a virtual festival. And I just thought, you know what, I've got tons of photos of blank walls from around Cheltenham. So yeah, why not? I've got photos of all the walls that we've done, and when they've been painted white, so they're all a perfect canvas ready to go. Plus a load of walls which we wouldn't be. I've tried. Some of them are listed. Obviously, like Julian Dunkerton's has turned me down for the reservoir. So yeah, I thought, well, we got all these lovely pictures of walls. I'll see if anyone goes for it. So I've got an artist group on Facebook, and I put about 100 walls in there, and the artists have been picking up on it, and yeah, there's more been coming online every day. Actually, it's I'm waiting for Inky's. Inky's about to do his. He's been threatening to do one all week. But yeah, so it's been good. Yeah,
do you know what? It's amazing, and I suppose we were all a bit disappointed when all the sort of street art festivals, when, I mean, Upfest was supposed to be around now. I can't remember the exact date, but it's going to be soon. And these big festivals, and you sort of gear up to those, don't you, throughout the year, that you look forward to, and not happening. And then you see something like this, you think, actually, you know what? Yeah, absolutely right. Let's just mix it up a bit and and do something a bit different. And that piece that you've got behind you, the reason why, because we haven't tied the things together, but that is what you then superimpose on that reservoir wall.
Yes,
which looks fantastic. I saw that, I thought, blimey, that is a cracker. If that was real, but it's superimposed on the wall. It's amazing.
I've been desperate to paint it. It's just massive. So it's one of those, you kind of need permission because you're going to be there quite a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one, isn't it? I suppose.
Anyway, there's a load of painting down there, so it's covered in tags. So it looks rubbish. It's in this beautiful bit of countryside, which looks stunning, and then it's got a wall just covered in really basic stuff. It's they're not nice stuff. There is some nice stuff down there, but that's around the corner. But there's some pretty basic stuff on there, and it would only enhance it. I'd just love to see it with a bit of drone footage, because from up on high, it would look amazing coming on into it and flying in. It would
look something else, isn't it? Do you think?
Yeah. So I've wanted to paint it for a while. So this was my practice. I painted all this with house paints because that was left over from WD Street Art. When he came and painted his big piece on the side of the Midland. So there was just some pots of paint left over. So I'll give it a go. Have a practice. If I ever do it one day, I know where everything's got to go if I need to do it quick.
I love it. I love it. Do you think has it caught off in Cheltenham? The virtual festival. So you've created all these artists have created these magnificent mock-ups of their art on walls in the town in Cheltenham. Has it caught on there, or do you think you might get some more walls on the back of this when suddenly people see how awesome this stuff is?
I've had quite a few people contact me probably most of them about NHS stuff, to be honest, but there's a few people who have contacted me about offering walls out for the festival and things. So yeah, I think people it always amazes me really that Cheltenham's really taken to it. Cheltenham's always had this kind of blue rinse of an older town. But ever since I started running the paint jams down the Honeybourne line, people of all ages in Cheltenham have come along and said how much they enjoy it, and which they, when we started down the tunnels, how they used to avoid going down there because it was just dark and dingy and horrible. And then since we've gone and been painting that, it's they enjoy to go and see the new creations and regularly make it part of their walk now, so that they can go and see what's been going on. So yeah, then I moved it out into the town, and I admit to having a bit of a panic attack the night before the first one. Thinking, oh God, it's one thing doing it there, but moving it out into the town's a whole different ball game. But we haven't had a single complaint. People love it.
What gave you the confidence to do that? Because the Honeybourne line tunnels, I'm familiar with that. It's a path through a big field, isn't it? And it's like an underpass that you can go through.
Yeah. It's an older railway line that been converted, and now it's just a walkway through from one end of the town to the other. Yeah.
So that's a sort of good place for a paint jam. But then moving from there to the town, and particular Spa town, a sort of historic well-to-do Spa town like Cheltenham, must have been a big thing. What gave you the confidence in the first place to move it from that, people, paint really? Jam to people?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people coming up to us all the time and saying how much they enjoyed it, how much they liked it. I had the support of the council. The council had given me some funding to run jams down there with. So I had the support of them, and I took it to a meeting of all the town's councillors and the trust and various people. At that meeting, it surprisingly went amazingly well, which I was a little bit surprised about. And it was, naturally everyone was up for it. What I came to find out later was that they'd spent a lot of money on having a report done. The report was done by a friend of Jodie, the artist from Bristol. So he put me on to Kelly, who'd done this big report, and it said that Cheltenham's got no ageing population. That's the town centres are becoming places where people just go for entertainment. It's pubs and restaurants and type of things. Shops are moving out to the shopping arcades outside the town where there's free parking and things like that. So, and it needed to appeal to a new generation of people and to younger people. Now that's why I think they saw this come along and it kind of fell in their lap. Maybe they went, "Oh well, yeah, all right, well let's give it a go." And it's been great. I mean, the first year people were kind of a bit wary of what we were going to do, giving us their big walls in places like the brewery, which is slap bang in the centre of town, in a very nice part of town. So I thank them for their trust, and then once we'd done that first year, it just took off from there. And then the second year, we painted on the back of the museum, and Bo Stanton come over and do that stunning wall on the side of the Basil, which was just
incredible wall. Incredible wall now. Wow.
So yeah, it was just a complete transformation, and I think that's what made people realise the positive aspects of what we were doing.
I often think about street art, and when you have councils in particular and they get involved with something like that, you think of it as something akin to it's helping social regeneration. It's helping that. But with Cheltenham, for me it's like, from what you're saying, it's a reimagining, it's a repurposing, a reclaiming of an old space to make it more relevant to a new population. Would you say that's what it is?
Yeah, and I think also that a lot of when councils get funding to do stuff, it's generally very much town centre, and it's very much generally, let's build a statue, let's have a statue of some old person in the town, and very kind of lacking in imagination a lot of the time. And I'm lucky that we built up this bank of trust with them, but we've taken it to it's not just in the centre of town, it's all around the town. So I mean, my favourite story is the road just down here, and it's one of the not posher areas of Cheltenham, and I'm painting this wall black ready for Lamarck and N4T4 Filth and Peaches to come and do their wall. And she came up behind me, "What the hell are you doing that wall? Oh, I hate that colour, I hate black. Oh, it's going to be a mural at the weekend. Oh, but all right," I just carried on. Anyway, on the Sunday, I was there painting. I was there talking to Filth, and she came up next to me and got a camera out of her bag, started taking photos. "Right, I'm going to the council on Monday about this." "Oh, here we go. So I want a big CCTV camera that end and another one that end. That's bloody gorgeous. I want to make sure it never gets damaged."
Oh, really? Is that right?
Is that right? "You've taken the tune," and she's like, "No, fair dues. That's fucking lovely."
Oh, and, wow, that's good, isn't it? That's good.
And it's still, that was what, 3 years ago. It's still not been damaged, and I think I'm not sure whether she rolls it every now. But yeah, taking art to those sort of areas where they don't get given stuff like that.
Yeah, you're bringing it into a new community, aren't you?
We did Dan Kaninki painted last year, and we were hoping to paint this year. Yeah, I mean, we had an old man there who stopped a friend of mine who was like, "What's all this about?" And my friend tried to explain the paint festival to him as best as she could, and he said, "Well, can you pass a message on, please? This is the most proud I've felt in my area of a very long time."
You know, it's funny that, and
he's a 70-year-old man. You know,
that's great.
So,
that's great.
Yeah, it's the people have really made it be taken off. Really.
I hear that a lot, you know, when people, locals in particular, start seeing this fantastic artwork on their wall, it makes them look at their town in a different and often more positive way. And it gives them this sense of pride.
I did a talk for one of the schools in the area by the Dank and Inky pieces, and again, it's not the best area of Cheltenham, and it was amazing. It was brilliant. All the kids, like, I had loads of slides showing and talking about various things, about aspects of the festival, and every picture that came up there, that's all my nan's house, all my memories around the corner from there. And then the teacher would be like, calm down. And you did calm down. And then the next picture, it was amazing to see their enthusiasm for it. It was just fantastic. Amazing.
That's brilliant, mate. Andy, I'm going to leave it there. Cheltenham Festival is amazing at the best of times. The virtual festival is a cracking idea. You know, thanks for sharing that with us, and thanks for talking to me today.
I think it gave artists something to do. It promotes them as well, and it hopefully puts a smile on a few people's faces. So it's a kind of win all around, really.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Let's do it for real in September. Let's hope restrictions are lifted by then, and people can get. Although, you know, it's quite all right for a paint festival. We're about 2 meters apart anyway. So,
well, I'll be there if it happens. I'll tell you on September. That'd be good.
If you're up the top of a lift, you're fine anyway. So.
All right, mate. We'll leave it there. Thanks very much.
Thank you for the interview, and stay safe. Take care.
And you, mate.